I am voivodemekhet, and welcome to our world of darkness and the first of something very special to me. And that is the fact that we are now starting our Patreon Chronicles. And I'm sure you at least saw the title of this before clicking on it. And this is the Session Zero of Big Trouble in Little Athens, a Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in Athens, Georgia. Um, this is something that is going to grow as the players do what they do. These amazing supporters of the channel are going to experience what it's like to run a long-term chronicle under the voivode. And by what I say, what I mean by that is that I make specific decisions based on the character's actions. And I was completely caught off guard with the actions and decisions that these players made. So I would like to thank DJ Carol and Christian for the amazing experience that we had, and I cannot wait until we get to have our next session. With that, this is the probably the only time that you will see me in this playlist, and I just figured I would jump in here and give you guys just a little bit of a brief because um, this session may seem a little long, and not much was cut out except for like a break here and there. But we spent a couple of hours building everything together. We decided on the city together. We decided on what the characters' interactions and how they would meet would take place for the most part, and also what our lines, our veils, and our chronicle tenets were. This was a very fun, completely open, completely candid between the players um, bit of an information session. So as the players go along, they will definitely become more comfortable role playing out this scenario that they've put themselves in. So I hope that you all enjoy this as much as I did and as much as the players did. Good evening.
And back to scene.
Yes. Okay, let's start a scene. Let's have some
To
fun with
the
this.
scene.
So,
Boy.
the way that I'm seeing things going here is that the one of the major anarchs, probably the Baron, I'll flesh him out as time goes by, but overhearing the fact that Cade seems to have this interesting theory, an idea of study that he wishes to go into. It's something that he's going to definitely support. And if he was able to hear about it, there's a good chance that others in the city may have heard about it as well. And if they haven't yet, they might eventually.
Yes.
So you're not going around by yourself anymore. I don't care at all what you think about this. You
Hey,
are going to need a
hey, just
buffer.
one point though.
Yeah.
Do you want to record this because I know you like to record your sessions.
Oh, I am recording it.
Oh, I didn't hear you turn the thingy on. Okay, I'm sorry.
The whole session's already been recorded.
The whole thing? Oh
Yeah,
Oh my
shit.
the whole
gosh.
thing.
It's called Notes.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Hmm.
basically, what I'm saying is you're getting a bodyguard. How do you feel about that?
Cade is not exactly. Cade will basically say, I understand the concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And I will agree to this because it is a logical course of action, especially with the attention of what my research could draw. And to be honest, if you I'm assuming you're totally aware of what this could bring down upon your head as well.
Oh, I'm
if it is
very much aware.
widely known. Unfortunately, I do not have the ability to protect myself against all threats that could happen. So, though I'm not exactly a fan of it, I can understand it. As long as this person agrees of their own will and conviction, and you don't order them around to do it.
Oh, believe me, the person I have in mind is very much make sure the people who need to be protecting get protected mindset.
That's fair.
And the big reason why I really think that you might be in that league of individuals who need protecting isn't because you're not as, and he kind of looks you up and down and kind of gestures at you a little bit. Not that I don't think that you can't hold your own out there, because I'm sure you got some tricks up your sleeve. But we already had an incident involving some warlocks a few years past. And
Elaborate, please.
the whole Karna parade came through here.
I see.
So
I'm sure they made a ruckus.
given what you are out there doing, last thing we need is any ivory tower capes to come down here thinking all that's happening again and that we're helping them out. So, bodyguard.
Agreed. Fair.
So, at that point, he's going to turn, he's going to put his thumb and his middle finger in his mouth. He gives out this ear-piercing whistle where someone in the background goes, "Damn it! Don't do that without fucking warning." And
Jeez, man.
That's the gangrel
me?
help.
so yeah, he's gonna give out that whistle, and then he's gonna be like, "Darby, get over here."
Jeez, man. I don't know if I can hear anymore. That was really, really loud.
Oh, you're gonna be fine.
Hi. I'm Darby. How are you?
I am Cade Blackstone.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Good to meet you.
I'm assuming you shake his hand and he kind of go like, oh,
Yeah.
that's aggressive. It's like, oh, that's aggressive. Nice to meet you.
I kind of see
Yeah,
that.
like I'm shaking.
That
I'm
over.
shaking
That
him.
over.
Yeah, I'm literally shaking him when I shake your hand.
Nice.
Cade is he appears to be about the age of middle 30s to late 30s. Some prematuring like mix of gray and dirty blonde hair, nicely kempt, beard, mustache, attractive looking, not like, celebrity attractive looking or anything, but, of a decent cut, in okay shape, but not like outrageously muscular or anything like that. He does carry a nice black cane with a black stone at the top of it, like a straight cane, and wears a nice outfit, but kind of that professory look. Not like a suit and tie, but more like a casual outfit of a nice cut. Maybe a sweater vest. You probably. I think that'll be a shtick. Sweater vest will be a shtick.
Oh my god.
Nice.
So if there was any possible way I could possibly be more opposite, I can't possibly think of it.
You look like one of the students.
Mr. Sweater Vests and everything. No, I on the other hand. So Darby is about 6 feet tall and built almost, maybe not quite as big. I mean, being a she, almost like a linebacker. So she's muscular and she's just big.
I'm
she
picturing Angel Dust from Deadpool.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So
maybe a bit of that.
what's her face? It's the same actress who was on The Mandalorian. Trooper, the shock trooper. Yeah.
The MMA fighter. I just
Yeah.
lost his,
Yeah. So you get the right idea, anyways. So, but she is definitely a more of a punk. She's definitely jeans, and she's got like a jean vest on, covered in all sorts of crazy pins and things, um, safety pins and such. Now, because I took the advantage, what was it called? Let me go to my character builder here. I took the one basically where you can actually have tattoos and such. So, Nuit.
Yeah, Nuit mode.
Nuit mode. So she has gone all out in the fact that she can do this. So she's got a shock of, well, you don't really know what color hair probably was. You might guess it was black because there's some black in there, but there's also purple and magenta and silver.
Okay.
For her hair. She's got piercings. All sorts of places you can see, and probably a few places you can't see. And tattoos.
She's my dream girl.
I posted her on the chat. It's
I
like
saw,
maybe not the
yeah.
same hair and clothes, but the same build.
Yeah.
Which chat did you? Oh, you didn't know.
In our chat. In our chat.
Yeah, at our personal chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair, something like that. Maybe even a little bigger in her arms and such.
Okay.
But that's about right. You know, that same level of badassery and her hairstyle. Actually, that's a pretty cool hairstyle. I like that with all the little braids and hair. Definitely, I almost thought about like doing like the spiky mohawk, but I think I like that better. Having a bunch of like braids and a ponytail. Bald hair is pulled way up on the top of her head and back.
Okay.
So maybe a little side shaving in there. Trying to think. Oh, she has violet eyes. Whether they were dyed that way or they're contacts, you'll never know. It's just she looks like a bruiser. So
Okay. Very cool. All right. So the Baron, as I said, introduces the two of you and just says, "You guys need to become acquainted." Because and he looks over at Darby and kind of like thumbs in the direction of Cade, and he's like, "I don't know if this one's going to be okay by himself." Uh, very long.
oh, why are there any threats any direct threats to you?
What do you think, Cade? You think you're gonna have some problems, some trouble?
I look at Darby's like, it is undoubtedly something that will eventually happen, given my research. There will be those that will certainly not like it.
What you're researching?
I look at the Baron first to see if it's to like get it okay to speak about it.
Why don't you guys talk about that in private?
Fair.
All right, that's fine. So, but no direct threats now. Sure,
Not currently. Hopefully.
Sure, I'll keep an eye. I'll keep an eye on him, and I like take one of my big hands and just kind of hit him on the back.
Check out this other image.
Yeah, that's about right.
Nice.
That's about right. Yeah. Really, yeah. She's beefy like that. I figured tall and beefy.
So one last thing before you go, Cade.
Yes.
I don't know if they were there for. I don't know if they found what they were looking for. But when that other group that I was telling you about came through here a few years ago, they spent a lot of time looking around the Georgia Museum of Natural History.
Well, maybe it'll be a good idea if I also search there.
Maybe.
Maybe there's something that they found that I could utilize.
It might be able to help.
It may take a while since I don't exactly know what they were looking for, but time is on my side, I guess.
Okay. Now,
I look at Darby. Do you like museums, my dear?
Do I look like I like museums? Is there a bar in the museum? I might like that better.
Cade smiles like, I try not to judge a book by its cover, but if you're one of those types where it's easy to read, you might be a little bored.
I mean, I'm here to keep an eye on you, so you know, I'll be. I have to watch for threats. I can't be distracted by books.
Fair. Is there anything else,
no.
Baron?
No, I think if you have any progress on that, however, I can promise you that we can probably work out some pretty damn good rewards if
Of course. To
you
be
help
honest,
that out.
I am more than willing to accommodate anybody who could use my services. And as I've stated before, if there are any lost children that need information about their lineage and or blood, I am more than willing to offer my services in that accord.
Well, the last thing
I
we
do
need in
not
this
expect
fucking
to
city is a
work for
bunch of
free.
critters. So. Oh no, God no, no! You get paid. That's it. That's no. You're not gonna have to do anything for free here.
So yes, I'm always at services for that. It is I've learned a lot in the short time, especially after what happened. So I I just want people I just want everyone to be of their own mind.
I like you. I love the concept of that. People should be free to decide what they want to do.
Well, then, good
Well,
luck on your search.
and with that I'll give a short bow, respectful enough but nothing, you know, outlandish.
Yeah, yeah. He's just gonna give you a weird look when you do that.
Habit. And I will turn and walk.
Okay. So you guys are gonna travel to the museum.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
for Carter, I figured we could actually have you at the museum.
Sounds good.
So with the kind of things that Carter spends his evening doing, what do you think Carter might be interested in a natural history museum? Like they could have various types of um, displays and actual artifacts and relics there.
Carter's academic field of study has been the scientific basis of prolonging life. So he's been working mostly in the chemical and biological principles of that, and now he's attacking in a different way, along with history. So he's looking for in museum sites and relics that are talking about stuff where their culture talked about prolonged life or life after death.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and just say the typical on the road, the typical on the road show that goes from museum to museum around the country, and we'll just go ahead and say that like one of the Egyptian, the travel Egyptian relic shows are in Georgia at the moment.
Sounds great.
So this is going to be a few preserved mummies. I believe the actual like uh, Tutankhamun is one of the ones that they do keep on the road quite often, with all of the
It is
various
what we
relics.
found not long ago.
So we can go ahead and say that you're there. With that, And let's see. I'm actually just going to pull up the expo information, and we can actually talk about the stuff that's in there if you'd like. So, what kind of you said you're looking for the idea of prolonging prolonging life or life after death and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real branch of science where there's a class of scientists who look at cultures that talk about medicines and stuff like that are like local folklore medicines, and then it turns out those real folklore medicines actually have a compound that a larger company can cultivate and turn into a real drug.
Okay.
But what about it? Something that does life after death or prolong life. So that's where he was studying, and that was his segue into becoming a vampire, with the Hakata in mind.
Okay. Let's see. I think you know what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and say that there is with the exhibit. There's a relic that's on display. I'm not sure if your character would just be interested in seeing it if you're going to attempt to steal it in some fashion. I'm not really sure. Um, but there's a set of scales that are said to be used in ritual practice that are actually just called the scales of Anubis.
Hmm. We're definitely checking them out.
Okay.
Where did you post again?
Who?
The exhibit you were saying?
Oh, I went to. I didn't share it.
Oh, okay.
I just went. I can definitely. Uh,
Yes, that would be actually great. I like it.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
look at it.
yeah, definitely. I'll put it in our
Yep,
chat.
makes sense.
There you go. This
Thank
is
you.
primarily the one from Washington D.C., but this is the one that actually travels around.
Oh, cool.
Okay. And
I
the
actually
scales
seen
of
this.
Anubis are not in that. I'm making that up.
That's fine. That's fine. No, no, I actually like. I do find it interesting. It's quite interesting stuff.
Okay.
I
So,
saw this live in Toronto. I was
did you?
mesmerized. Yeah.
That's nice.
Sorry, just side tangent. Apologies.
No, that's very cool. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's come here a few times, but I've always unfortunately missed it. Um, so the Georgia Museum of Natural History is it's not as big as some other museums, but the collection they have is actually pretty incredible. Um, and I will be nice enough to put that website here as well. There you go. And but they have made room to bring this Egyptian exhibit in here and set it up so that people can see, which is kind of interesting because they've had to use areas of the museum that are not usually for this type of thing. It's actually in the computer services annex, which is on the west side of the main building. That is typically just blocked off completely, and it's only for work. But they've put in basically temperature controlled machines that are just humming really loud, and and most of the actual equipment that belongs in here has been just pushed against the walls.
How many other people are in the exhibit with me at this time?
What time do you think you would have gone? Would you have tried to get in
Evening.
after clothing or after closing, or would you have tried to get in while it was still
I'm
open?
going to assume these museums probably shut at 6 or 7 o'clock, so I'm probably maybe I use some of my academic contacts to try and get in. Just a little bit of a academic help or upper hand, not upper hand, but we'll say lending a hand to someone else in the academic world.
Hmm. Do you think you have a? I'm sure you've helped out in situations when it comes to this kind of stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you have an influence in the area, so yeah, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure we can
I'm
just
going
go
to
ahead and
say
say that you have a favor that you're cashing in or something.
that's it. I just want to just quietly looking at the thing. We're going to assume there's security cameras looking at this thing, so I'm not outrightly going to do anything too nefarious, but I am trying to get a closer look than what most people would be able to.
Okay, all right. Um, let's just say that um, a friend of yours made some calls, was able to get you in, and
Mm-hmm.
the security guard who works there at night, he lets you in, and he's a little put off by the idea of having somebody wandering around while he's at work. But he'll let you in, and he's like, just make sure you don't touch anything, and he's gonna wander off on his own.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hmm. Just don't get me in trouble.
I'll do my very best.
So you
Proceed to
have the
check out.
museum to yourself.
So I meander slowly around the exhibits, but I'm making a fairly direct line towards what I've heard about the these Egyptian scales, the scales of Anubis.
Hmm.
I've limited knowledge about the ritual practice that they're involved with, and I'm trying to just get a sense of them and see what I see.
Okay. As you make your way through the museum, there's some areas that are kind of tight pressed because there's so much stuff that has been like just brought into areas they don't typically go in to make room for this exhibit. Um, there's glass. There's glass cases that have like various displays of like massive like bugs and various invertebrates in one room, and the hall of probably the hall of invertebrates is where that has been smashed into the hall of vertebrates. So you have like things that should not be next to each other. But on the floor also are these little scarab stickers that are probably like 6 inches in diameter, and it's like,
Do you say stickers? Sorry?
yeah, stickers. Like they put little stickers down on the
Okay.
floor. Um, and they go from the opening, like right where you get the tickets or where you make donations to come in, and they lead all the way back to the Egyptian displays. And it's that's what they're there for. They're like little footprints to show where people can go to get to the main attraction.
Then I shall follow these stickers to some scales of Anubis, keeping an eye out for anything that might distract me with my particular area of study.
Okay. There are several sarcophagus that are in one area. There's lots of treasures. The actual headdress of King Tutankhamun is there. There's lots of things to read about the Pharaoh of Destiny and his tomb and its treasures and things like that. Lots of various ornamental and ritualistic and unknown for what purpose, which usually gets coupled into religious artifact
Mm-hmm.
in museums. But towards the back, you will find an area that is dedicated to the funerary practices of ancient Egypt, where you will find a crook and a crook and a staff, and several small statuettes of Anubis along with other gods. The canoptic jars of King Tutankhamun are also here, including a plaster breakdown of what they look like on the inside that's been vivisected.
Mm.
And front and center in fact, are these beautiful uh, ebony and gold scales.
Oof. So I'm going to study these. Don't feel the need to use Auspex or anything like that at the moment. I'm
You do
probably
have
just alone.
you do have sense the unseen, however.
I do.
And you are going to notice
Uh,
there's a good amount of stuff in here, including those scales, that do give
okay.
off a strange radiance.
I will. I'll fire away. I've only got the one pip in it, but we'll try Sense the Unseen. So it's Wits and Auspex versus Resolve and Auspex. Yeah.
You just need to do the wits plus aspects. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Where are we rolling? Just as I get used to it.
Or actually, you said you're activating this a little bit more. It's actually sorry, it is the resolve plus aspects, wits plus aspects. If I'm just having you notice something,
Right. So
so
Resolve possess.
yeah.
Resolve 4 points. Resolve 4 points. Auspex 1 point.
hmm Okay, so you've got it's 6 and above, so you got 3 successes total, 2 in your
Yep.
standard and 1 on your
And hunger.
hunger. All right. So with that, um, you do find that the majority of this odd radiance, which if you've used Sense the Unseen around other practitioners of Oblivion, it's the same style of radiance. It's basically the it's the energy that comes from Oblivion itself.
Oof. And that's coming. It's coming off the scare. Sorry,
The
the
scales.
crook and the staff, or the scales.
The
Okay.
scales themselves. Everything else seems to be slightly, but it might just be runoff from what's happening with the scales.
Right. I can't. Can I touch them at all?
They're behind glass.
Quick look around. Are there? I know we've been moved to a less commonly used area.
hmm
Are there any cameras in easy view?
um, well, let's just go ahead and
I don't
say,
think they're gonna let these multi-million-dollar items about easy peasy, but
well, let's just go ahead and say that there's a small case built into the wall on the far side of the room that has a small hammer with a chain, and it's for like the fire extinguisher.
and that's it.
That's the only thing that I'm going to say is a hammer. You could definitely use any kind of improvised things, but that's going to be the only hammer right now.
Well,
Now, as you're contemplating theft and making my job a lot funnier, um,
yeah.
I'm going to bring the other two in real quick,
Oh boy, we're gonna
since
ruin it all.
since they're going to the same location that you're robbing at the moment. Um,
I'm just contemplating it. I haven't decided
I
yet.
completely understand. So the two of you, Cade and Darby, will arrive outside of the Georgia Natural History Museum. Where exactly would you guys be coming in from? Do you think?
So it depends. First
Okay,
off, is did the Baron arrange us to get in,
he did not.
or did we have to? Okay, so we have to arrange that ourselves.
hmm
So similarly, I will probably be using my college influence to see if I can get ourselves in.
Okay.
Is it
Um,
open?
so there's a couple of different ways. One, I could use the influence of potentially a student, maybe one of my herd members
Hmm.
who might be an intern at the museum, or I myself have my merits, famous alumni occultist.
hmm
So, which I might have to change that because I may not be an alumni of this particular university. Uh, um, that's just because of how the background kind of went, but it does give me one rank in fame amongst that category,
Yeah.
subcategory. So I don't know if that might apply. I don't know.
I mean, I think it still fits pretty well.
Okay. So yes, I will approach the front.
Okay. Now, what I would
No
like to
nefariousness.
what what I would like to do is I need to find out if your information is going to end up running across somebody you might not want it to. So, the way
In
that
which way?
well, you have somebody who also has ties to the same groups as you do.
Oh, yes. That's fine.
So there's
I
always
wasn't
a
sure what you meant by
chance.
that.
There's always a chance that utilizing this to get your own things might cause problems.
And to be
So
honest, I may not even know about this. So
yeah, you might not. You might not. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I need you to roll. Um, let's see. You can either do. I'll let you choose if you want to do charisma or manipulation, and whichever skill you think is fit for that. But I will allow you to add your fame, so you can add
okay.
one extra dice for your fame.
So I'm thinking manipulation. Well, if I want to go with just dice pool, it's definitely manipulation plus subterfuge. But I could go persuasion, which is one less total.
Well, I need you to
Um,
justify lying if you're
yeah,
lying.
I will actually go with manipulation plus persuasion and then add fame.
Okay.
So that'll be a dice pool of 6.
Okay. Let's. I want to know what you're gonna
Let's see
say
how this
though.
goes.
What exactly
Oh
are you
no.
telling this person?
Okay. So I'm assuming it'll be a security individual. What time do we have like a scheduled time that this place closes?
It's closed already. We're gonna go with
Yeah.
that.
Okay. I will approach the window and kind of rap on like the door or something with the cane, getting the guard's attention.
Okay. You knock for a couple seconds, and he sticks his head around the corner, and his eyes light up because he knows who you are, and he'll walk over and unlock the door. And are you Professor, or is that what you're going by? Or
Yes. Yeah, Professor.
okay.
Professor Blackstone.
Professor Blackstone, what are you doing here?
Yes, hello. And I look at his name tag.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and say that his name is. I'm gonna
I'm getting
do.
a Chad out of this.
I'm not giving you a Chad. Um,
Oh
um,
wow.
no,
Is this
his.
an athlete as a secondary job?
Uh, we're gonna he. We're gonna go with we're, we're gonna go. His name is Nate Reader.
All right. Nate, yes, my good
Yeah.
man. I do apologize to disturbing you while you're working. I have been detained unforeseeably for quite a while, and well, I really needed to get in to uh, look at some particular tomes and books. And to be honest, I did want to browse the exhibit while I was here. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do it in the near future. I was hoping that you could allow me and my colleague here to enter and do our research, though it be after hours, on your time.
Um. He go ahead and roll. But he looks over towards Darby and kind of looks her up and down like, what the fuck is he hanging out with this for? And and
Do I pick that up? Do I know it's legitimately like I mean, I'm just gonna look at him back, kind of glare back. Do you have a problem?
um
5.
no,
If I
not
sense he's got a problem.
no, not at all. Just yeah. Um, let's see,
So
one,
three
two, three
successes.
successes. He looks over and kind of takes in the kind of assertive, angry demeanor of Darby. And he's like, no problem at all. Come on in. It's just we're getting a lot of after hours visitors tonight, and
Really?
he'll step to the side and hold the door open for you.
Who else has graced this establishment this evening?
Oh, there was another guy who came in here, Mister Ashbridge.
I'm assuming I have not heard of that name.
Not that you know of, no.
I will look at Darby with like a look.
I just kind of shrug,
quite,
but
yeah,
I'll
quite
keep.
the coincidence. Well, at least now you know that he will not be in here alone.
Yeah. I think he's checking out the King Tut thing that's on the other side of the building.
Hmm. Well, since somebody else is there, maybe I will go see that first before I continue on. And thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Good seeing you.
It is a pleasure seeing you as well.
Mm.
And then I will confidently walk off to the King Tut exhibit.
All right, you'll hear him locking the door as you're walking out of the room. And sure enough, there's another individual in the exhibit.
Before we do reach there, I will look at Darby. It's just, not to be paranoid or anything, but it just seems quite a coincidence that the night we decide to come here, another individual has come in late.
I don't believe in coincidences very much.
Well,
I'll keep it. I'll keep an eye out for sure.
very good. Thank you.
They don't seem. Well, you said we saw him, right? We can see this person.
Well, we will
No,
soon.
you will. You will as soon as
Okay,
unless
we're
he
not there yet
hides.
because
Unless he
I'm
hides.
not exactly. I'm not exactly what you would call as quiet most of the time. I can be
Just a walking
stealthy.
tank. Just a walking
I
tank.
can be
Do you
stealthy when I want to
do
be.
you
But
do you wear heavy duty biker boots?
sure, yes, I do
Does it
because
have does it have
I
like the
do have
metal
a
guard?
bike.
Does it have the metal guards on the toes? Oh
Nah.
wait, that's right. This is Georgia. Do you have spurs?
Oh my god.
Dude,
Ah,
it's Georgia. There's a lot of people that ride horses.
I mean that's true.
probably not. No, she only rides iron horses.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's wearing a cowboy hat either.
Nah, she's not a cowboy. She's a punk. And besides, a
You can have punk cowboys.
Oh my god.
maybe, but I don't view her as a cowboy, and it would
That's
ruin.
fine.
You
All
know, her
right.
hair kind of is up a bit, so
That's
kind
fair.
of ruin
That's
the
fair.
hair.
Okay, so as when you walk in, though, I do want to let you know that your sense the unseen, you are going to notice there's a little bit of a strange setting on here. If you want, you can elaborate for that using Resolve plus Aspects. But for Carter, you are going to hear some pretty heavy footsteps coming from down the hall while you're in here.
I will roll uh, resolve plus aspect, so that's gonna be 4 dice.
Okay.
I have no reason to assume it's anyone but just the security guards. I'm not particularly put off. I haven't done anything bad yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just kind of see you there holding the hammer up to the glass.
Just checking the integrity.
There's
So
a
2.
For Cade, there's a very awkward energy that you're not quite used to seeing that just radiates from most of the stuff in here, primarily from those scales on the other side of the room.
So I don't know what type of energy, correct?
Not with a 2, you don't.
That's fine. I just wanted to verify. Yeah, I do kind of like give a stop for a moment as I take it all in. And I will kind of whisper to Darby, there's some sorcery about some of these items.
Oh,
I don't know if it's dangerous, but it's something I don't know. I
well,
can't identify it.
you have to worry. I'm not planning on touching them unless you
Probably
ask me
best.
to. Unless you
Probably
ask
best we
me
don't.
to.
And then we will continue walking slowly and obviously not being very stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I can be stealth. I actually have a point in stealth, so I can be stealthy if you want me to try to be.
We don't have to be.
All right, so the three of you will now see each other.
As they walk up, I'm simply look at them. Sir, madam, evening.
Sir,
Evening.
quite an interesting collection here that is being exhibited, is it not?
It is.
Ah,
It's,
I forget my manners. I am Professor Blackstone.
Yo, I'm Darby.
And I will put my hand out for to shake his hand.
Professor, I'm Dr. Ashbridge.
I
Dr.
do
Ashbridge.
I do have a question for the three of you. Did any of you decide to use the blush of life before going in?
I have not yet. I was thinking about it, but we went right to it, so I didn't.
I
I
will
can
allow
say
you
I
to
did.
back. I will allow you to backstep if you would like to
Okay.
roll
Yes.
hunger check.
If I'm going to interact with humans, I would like to do
All
that.
right,
To be
I mean
honest.
that's fair. I'm not that backwards. So what have I got to roll?
Just one dice.
Just a 1d10.
Oh, is this a
Do I?
hunger check?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, everyone rolled at once. I get hungrier.
Let's see.
Wait, what? No, never mind. I don't get hungrier.
Is it just
No, I do get hungrier. Why did it throw 3 of them? That's weird.
You
Just
only
one.
one got rolled.
Okay. I get num num. I want num nums.
I do not.
Okay, so yes, Cade gets hungrier, and Carter and Darby do not. So you all actively look like humans right now. So I was just wondering if 3 vampires walk in and just obviously are vampires. So
Well, I
Vampire,
don't know.
vampire,
Do we
vampire,
have-
vampire. Well, no, we were interacting with a human. We probably should have.
yeah.
Or else we would look kind of like, oh look, you look a bit peckish and pale and cold.
All right. So yes, the 3 of you are all there, and none of you give any actual signs of being kindred. So this will be an interesting interaction. as the 2 groups of you, technically Darby and Cade, and then Christian, or sorry, and then Carter, are all trying to maintain the masquerade in front of each other.
Professor? What brings you to this exhibit?
Research, most assuredly. But I decided to also observe this exhibit. Excuse me.
I believe he needs
I
to
wish
say
to
exhibit.
yes the artifacts on display currently, since I will probably not have time later to view them. And Doctor, what brings you here?
Same as you, really. I'm interested in cultures that study life after death and prolonged life, and well, my busy schedule often keeps me away, so I thought I'd come in the evening and afford myself a little more time around the exhibits. And, madam, you have an interest in the Egyptian culture yourself?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Little sweeting going on there.
Well, I'm trying to avoid.
No. It was funny.
It's not meant to be Swedish.
I kind of want you to be now. I want you to be a Helga. God damn it!
If anything, I kept thinking Australian, but I'm not trying an Australian accent. So
just Austrian accent.
Oi.
Okay. So, what is your take on some of these artifacts?
These scales are drawing my interest, but I admit I have limited knowledge in the Egyptian culture. There's something about them that I find intriguing, and I can't put my finger on it.
Yes, they are rather intriguing, almost like it has its own pull about it.
I agree. Is there anything else about these exhibits that you find the same way, or is it just the scales?
Oh, much here has such depth and a breadth of history that so much could be learned from it. The corpses, the tombs, the iconography, the pottery, all of it speaks of such a ancient and well-structured culture.
Yeah, the art. The art's so pretty.
I agree, madam. What's not the science without a little art?
Yes, hieroglyphics are such a intricate language indeed.
Have you, do you study at the university here? Are you a member of the Athens University?
Yes, I am a professor there.
In what?
I teach a variety of classes, but my focus is in occult history, theories, and practices.
Really?
Yeah.
I've studied quite a bit that myself. I've traveled much, mostly through Europe, but in the last few years I've been in New York, and now I find myself here to see this
Oh.
exhibit.
Excellent. such a rare field to find others of like minds. But it is refreshing to know there are more than just a handful of us out there.
Tell me, do you know the story of these scales? I admit I know little else beyond what's written on the plaque.
That's a good question for the storyteller. Would I be able to roll to have some knowledge of these scales?
I do not see why not. Let's see. That would be intelligence, and I would allow either occults or academics, depending on what kind of information you're wanting to give.
I have a cult actually because I decided it might be a good thing to take. I was
Oh, I would
wondering
laugh
that
like hell if I would laugh like hell if Darby just spouts off all the information.
Dude, go ahead,
so
roll it,
she
please.
has
I want to
she
see.
she actually has an intelligence, by the way. I
Oh,
did
I will
not
roll
say
a
she gives
cult.
me intelligence.
Yeah, I will
What's my
roll.
one pip? Oh, composure's the one pip. What a surprise there.
I will
And
roll a
so-
cult, given that we've already established an occult tie to each other.
So occult. Occult is 2. So occult plus intelligence, so that's 4. So it's
Not bad.
one moment.
Oh wow. Okay.
3 successes. Nice.
Apparently Darby knows her shit.
Yeah.
Darby coming
Oh my
up
god,
big.
better than me.
You know.
Oh my god. That's
Go on, roll
hilarious.
for this one.
Well, I do believe we gave the storyteller his wish.
That is funny.
Yep.
So yeah, as Carter turns and asks Professor Blackstone what he knows about this stuff, you turn to look. Cade turns to look at them, and then Darby goes into an explanation.
Yay! Wait, I know what that is. I've read about it once. You're like all amazed that she actually might read a book.
So you know that these are a representational religious tool for the god Anubis, and he uses it to weigh your heart and its guilt and its the weight of your heart against the feather of life, and it basically decides what's going to happen. It's what's going to happen after you die. It basically is a judgment for the dead.
I look at Darby, a little surprised, and I kind of give her a tap of my cane. I knew I had a good feeling about you. See, a fine student of the occult already.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Should quite like to have these, but I guess everything here is for public display, such as it is.
Yes, Professor Blackstone does raise an eyebrow at that comment, per se. I'm sure many individuals would give quite the fortune to possess such rare and fine artifacts that are owned by the museum. But at that point, then no one would ever get to enjoy them.
Quite right. Tell me, how do you two come to know each other?
Kind of look at Darby.
You kind of look at him because, like, how do I want to answer that question?
A mutual acquaintance. A mutual acquaintance.
We just met, actually. A mutual acquaintance just was together and said I might be able to help him. I'm his assistant. Sure, I'm his assistant.
And Ms. Darby, Ms. Darby, I take it you two are a student of the occult and, or at least Egyptian history.
Yeah, I read some.
That's quite obvious. Your knowledge is extensive.
Yes, very impressive.
Okay. But what are you? Is this the thing you wanted to come here for? I look at
myself. Kate. No, I do not believe it would have been. Actually, question to the GM.
Yes.
About the time the group came through, would this exhibit have been here?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
When the group,
Oh,
quote
the group
unquote,
that came
came through
before?
here, would the exhibit been here at that
Well,
time?
that's actually kind of a hard question to answer because this is a traveling display,
Yes.
and what he was talking about happened uh going on 14 years
A
ago.
couple years ago.
Like
Yeah.
14. So
I do look at Darby like, most likely not. Um, my research most likely deals with something that is currently here, that is normally here, or once was. I need to determine that though. I need to take a look at the records and see what was around during certain dates first to see if this endeavor will bear any fruit.
Okay.
And he'll look at the doctor and says, um, I'm sorry, was it Dr. Carter or did you give a different name?
It's Dr. Ashbridge, but you can call me
Ashbridge.
Carter.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. Uh, Dr. Ashbridge, it's been a
Carter's fine.
Carter. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I do hope that you enjoy the exhibit, and I hope that we will meet again someday. I think we could have quite a interesting discussion on, well, a number of topics.
So, in my mind, by the way, when he says interesting discussion between those two, I'm like thinking, oh God, I guess I'll be able to get a nap in at that point.
I would quite like that. Now, I do hope that Madam Darby, if you would join us, that'd be a pleasure as well.
Oh,
Just
I'm
because,
sure it will be a total pleasure. And you
question,
can tell she's not being real hiding it, that there are things she'd rather be doing than to sit there and listen to you two prattle on about academic affairs.
Carter doesn't blush.
um, sense the unseen,
yes.
does that also see ores?
It is not aura perception.
Okay. I kind of figured it wasn't, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, this what Sense the Unseen does is it lets you see basically through the
Yeah.
gauntlet to the other side.
Okay. Yeah, no, I figured it was another it's been a while since I've done Auspex, but I thought there was another Auspex power that does that per se.
There is, I believe it actually is just. Is
I
it
think it's a
aura
level 2 or
perception?
3.
Scry the Soul, level 3.
Yeah.
Right. Professor, can I ask, are there any other areas you specialize in? I know you mentioned the occults, and clearly Egyptian history is one of them. Myself, I tend to examine the tangents of where history and the occult become science, and where those two factors meet. What particular areas do you look at?
The professor kind of gives us work after a fashion, some of the same. I have a broad spectrum in study. I've always had one since I was a small child. But shall we say I have a particular fascination and interest in the meeting of what is occult and reality. What can truly happen. Science, if you wish to say it. Some may call it otherwise.
So, a theologian. Interesting. Madam, yourself, I take it this is a passing fancy for you?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, I'm glad to meet two kindred spirits regardless.
I mean, if you want to discuss the punk bands of the '80s, we can have a conversation.
Can I make an insight, probably intelligence to his wording,
Sure.
given that particular word drop?
If Carter is trying to be extra sly and stealthy with that. To defend, that would probably be best defended with, I'd say, composure plus subterfuge.
Yeah, I'll defend. Not too hard. Composure 3, subterfuge
1.
1, so we have 4. So we're at.
And you need to beat a difficulty of 4 on this one. And a 3. So no,
Ooh, just shy.
you're going to see through that and exactly what he was talking about.
Mm. Yes, it is. It is very good to embrace one's interests for sure.
Can I slyly reveal a tooth?
You can. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
Do I pick up the context clues here?
I mean, Darby's got a wits of 2.
Yeah.
I think you've been around enough sly talking anarchs to pick up that they're like both putting out kind of ridiculous stuff. But yes,
We're not being as subtle. My comment was not that subtle.
yeah.
That was a test. That was a test right there. If anything, I see.
Wow.
Well, it
Professor
is.
Blackstone and Miss Dobby, I see not everyone is here as they would address the public.
Well, there's a reason why we are all here
Tell
after
me,
the sun
what do
has
you make of these?
fallen.
Tell me now that we're speaking a little more openly. What do you make of these scales?
I will look around to make sure the guard isn't like nearby or anything first.
Wits and awareness.
That's only a 3 for me.
I mean, I think those scales they're part of, folklore. They're a cool item. But come on, magical actually weighing hearts
3.
versus feathers. I don't know about that.
Sound
The
carry.
professor.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you can go ahead and finish first.
I was just going to say, sound carries fairly well in this place. There's almost nothing in the building that absorbs sound. There's no carpets. There's no anything like that. There might be the odd wall tapestry here and there, but most of those end up being vinyl. So when you're listening out for the the security guard, you can tell he's at least near the lobby, which is like nowhere near you guys.
I will lower my voice just to make sure the sound doesn't carry as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I will first look at Darby. Say, to be honest, there is an aura around these particular scales that speak of some otherworldly aspects to it, shall we say?
Wait, are you saying like the magic?
Yes.
I
In some form or fashion.
I like walk right up and I stare really, really hard, like I'm trying to see this aura for myself.
Okay.
I will look at the doc. I will look at Carter. Say, I am assuming you have also witnessed this.
I look at Darby and I say, "Yes, dear, magic."
Do you know exactly what the magic is, or what the? I shouldn't say magic. Do you know exactly what the aura speaks of? It is not one I am familiar with.
It has a touch of death about it, but what particularly I can't tell.
That would make sense given its meaning.
And
As for what it's used for, that is a good question.
how did you come across this place? Myself, I'm an academic. I just come here for study. I assume it was the same for you, but the two of you together, it's admittedly unusual.
Yes, you are correct that I am here for research. Darby is here Should I say as precaution? My research could potentially be volatile if certain individuals got wind of it.
Oh, for someone the size of Darby, I expect you think it's particularly volatile.
Hmm, someone does. Tell me, are you here associated with a particular group?
I'm on my own.
I see. Well,
But,
that is all well and good, of course. Though
but perhaps we could
risky.
pool our resources and our knowledge.
What is your particular field of expertise?
As I mentioned, I study the areas where the, let's say, history and the occult have a tangent with science. Sometimes that science leads to medical discoveries. Sometimes that science leads to the extension of life after death. And given our particular condition, it can be expected that there might be more answers in that science and in that history. And that history today pointed me to these scales. And here we are.
Hmm. My research is more broad based, but I have a particular specialty that I seek after. Admittedly, it might be a lofty goal, but a goal that I wish to achieve. I do not know what my research will find here, but I have been directed that in the past, certain individuals grace this place, and these individuals' goals are adjacent to what I look into.
And these individuals, are they of our kind?
Yes.
Hmm. Would you care to elaborate further?
Not at this time.
I won't press.
I'm sure you can understand that a researcher's focus and,
Let's just
well,
say I won't
work
publish.
can be confidential until published.
I don't intend to publish this anytime soon.
It's understandable. I do not wish to pry in your own matters as well, but to be honest, if there can be a collaboration, I would not be opposed to that. I know that my interest, well, to be honest, they can be very daunting in their scope. And I am sure that at some point I will need other insight to expand success.
What is the use of having an immortal life if not to learn everything we can?
That is
Perhaps,
very true indeed.
perhaps
Uh,
we can
uh,
share our knowledge. And madam,
I think
these
it's. I think we have all sorts of time to have fun. I
uh,
mean,
madam, fun would be an absolute necessity. If everything we did was just for knowledge, well, then it'd be a very boring life indeed.
Tell me, do you frequent the area?
By frequent, yes, I move around, but I am, as you would probably be yourselves, not often seen. I'm new to
Quick
this city.
quick question for the storyteller.
Sure.
This particular area and what I'm assuming I might know, I may not know the boundaries of, say, the Anarch's territory, domains, and like say the Camarillus territory and domains.
Hmm.
Would I know roughly?
The where the like personal territories are. I'm gonna go ahead and
Well, first off, like the barony and then like the camp's official areas versus like but maybe potential
I-
particular domains and territories.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that you know where like some of the like more common Elysiums might be. But
Hmm.
they're some of the more obscure areas are going to be a little less knowledge. Basically, all you're gonna pretty much have is like where anarchs in the area have pretty much just told you to avoid going if you want to stay out of trouble.
Does the museum in particular, or this area where the museum resides in, is that under an area that I would know is, say, under the barony, under the cam, under a particular domain, or just not associated with anybody?
This one's not currently associated with anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, like the more big, beautiful, like showy museums tend to be more under Camarilla control. But
Yep.
natural history is not really something they tend to carry about much.
That's fair. That's fair. I will look at the doctor's. Yes. I do suggest, though, that you be wary of where you tread, just to make sure you do not offend anybody in particular. If you are not aligned, shall we say.
I appreciate your words. It is easy for our kind to offend, and very difficult to get out from under a fence.
True. Well, I do need to see if I can find out the information I've come to seek. And I do not want to keep you all night, but I would like to be able to keep in
Perhaps I
contact
can
with
help.
you. If you wish to
Perhaps I
join
can
me,
help.
you wish to
What
join me.
information?
Yay, Discord.
I
I don't
appreciate
have
your
a.
invitation. Yes.
I am going to say about 14 years ago, I wish to see what was here, to see and branch out from there. Again, I am on a slight wild goose chase myself, with very little information to go off of currently.
It was a very specific wild goose chase, but if I can help you, I will attempt to do so.
Very well. With that, I'd like to head to wherever they keep their archives, or at least database.
Okay. Well, most of the computer like information and stuff would actually be able to be found uh probably right here in the computer services annex, except for the fact that things have been moved around right now.
Hmm.
So the best place you could probably look is going to be on the other side of the building in like it's part of the same building, but like it only connected by overhang. There is a smaller building that is called the statistics building, and that's probably your best bet of looking for something like that.
Hmm. Well, let's first see if I can find the information here while I'm here, because if not, I'll have to come back. If the information is still here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm basically going to look up the rough time period. Obviously, I don't have an exact date or anything that the Karna house probably rolled through. And research what available exhibits they had on display,
Mm-hmm.
and go from there and see what I got from there first.
Okay. Well, like I said, the most of the computers and stuff are still here. They're just kind of pushed off to the side um, to make room for, and of course, the only thing that's separating them is like the velvet ropes on the stands, kind of thing, or the pull out like roll up uh,
Yeah,
barriers.
I'll move some stuff aside and
Yeah,
just go
not
to
it's
one.
not
That's
hard.
fine.
It's not hard
As
at
long as
all.
it's still plugged in. Yeah, as long as it's still plugged in and functional.
It is still plugged in. It just has kind of like a plastic cover over it, which can easily be removed. But if you are
Yeah.
trying to, would you be looking for anything specific, or are you just trying to find something?
So right now the specific is what events, displays, and whatnot they had 14 years ago.
Okay, then you're just gonna have to roll straight intelligence because you don't have technology.
Yeah, I know. I can't have everything. Trust me, I wanted technology, but I can't.
Yeah.
Cool.
If Darby basically wants to stand over your shoulder and try to help you out, she does have a point in technology, so you could add 1 point to your search.
Oh, okay, I will do that.
I
You-
will ask. Can I add
And I could apply
research?
the tech.
Can you research?
Can I add research? The skill.
I
Oh, I
will.
did.
I will allow you to add research. So yes, use your
I'll ask.
academics with your research.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
Oh, academics. I thought it was intelligence. Well, okay. If I'm adding academics, that's fine. I thought it was just going to be straight intelligence.
Yeah, it would be intelligence plus academics with your research specialty. So
Uh
you would be
okay,
rolling
that's fine.
7 dice plus 1 with Darby.
Okay, so yeah, that's,
Basically,
well,
Darby.
no, that would be if I'm adding my research on top of my academics, I'd be rolling at 8 plus whatever Darby's giving me.
Well, you have an
Because I have a
intelligence.
specialty in academics.
Yes, you have an
Intelligence of 4.
3. Oh,
No, I have an intelligence of 4.
I'm looking at Carter. Sorry. Sorry, intelligence of 4.
Yes.
All the C names. Yeah, intelligence of 4, plus academics of 3 plus a 4 for the, and then then 1 for Darby.
Okay.
So yeah,
9.
as you're
dice.
sitting
Okay.
down trying to get everything going, Darby's watching you struggle with the computer, not quite grasping what you're supposed to do with maybe this new model.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go.
I'm still like I'm still like Hewlett Packard version.
I kind of see Darby kind of like coming up like behind you and pushing the enter button and going, "It's asleep. You have to wake it up first."
Yeah, it's like anything past XP, I just don't know anymore.
Yeah.
All right, so that looks like it's 4 successes.
Okay, 4 successes. Let's see. So I said 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's have some fun.
Oh boy.
What the heck am I listening to now?
Okay, so 10 years ago, we had a special exhibition of the Ashiwi Awana Nation, Zuni World, which was pretty. That was very pretty. Let's see, addressing the statue, which was a basic. It was basically a set of college papers on different cultural statues and what their significance were. There was an exhibition on beautiful creatures. There was an exhibition called "The Brain: The Inside Story." An exhibition on climate change. On the countdown to 0, defeating disease. Creatures of light, bioluminescence in anglerfish and other sea creatures. Cuba. It just says Cuba with a lot of exclamation points.
Cuba.
There was a
That's the one.
There was a Darwin, an exhibition on Darwin. Dinosaurs,
Interesting.
Dinosaur fossils, Einstein, extreme mammals. Yeah, and that would be the 12 that happened 14 years ago.
So it was the brain one, and what was crap? There was another one too.
Climate
It
change.
was earlier than the brain. No, not climate change.
Beautiful creatures.
No, it was before that. It's one of the earlier ones.
Addressing the statue.
It might have been defeating disease.
Oh, okay. Well, that was after the brain. Countdown to 0, defeating the.
Actually, addressing this. Yeah, this feeding disease, the brain one, the essays, and the statues. I will actually look into those 4. I'd like to look into those 4 to see if anything piques interest for the information, and see if any of that was still lingering, or if there's any information left in the database, or anything actually physically here.
Well, if we're going with the standard time that it is now, that it's March, then the 14 years ago in March, the one that was there was the Beautiful Creatures exhibit, which was featuring more than 100 designs inspired by animals, forms from the world's greatest jewelry houses and artists. So that was actually a jewelry exhibit that was meant to look like animals, like snake bracelets and things like that.
Ooh. Interesting.
In February, that was the addressing the statue, which is most of the exhibited pieces were from students that go to colleges in the city.
Oh, so they made their own?
Yeah,
Or
Well, no,
Okay.
there's no statues. It was literally just papers.
papers on statues. Okay.
Yeah, it was papers
I'd
on
like to flip
statues.
through and yeah. So I will take a quick peek and see like what titles, what subjects these students were writing about
Um,
to see if anything pops out.
you're gonna get names and titles, but you're not gonna actually have the papers themselves, because this is just
Okay.
basically saying that they're here, or this is basically saying that they
Yeah.
were here. All of those papers were taken and basically just put into museum storage offsite.
Okay. Um, once I've gotten that, I will kind of write down a number of the titles.
Hmm.
I would like to write down or find out where the storage offsite would probably be.
Okay. Um, that is going to be another in probably wits plus tech for this one, unless you can think
So
of
Help him
what they would
wits.
again.
actually be. If unless you can
Nope,
think of what
nope.
they would
I agree
actually
with
be
you.
using.
Yeah, no. The other thought I was thinking is if there was an online database for any of this too. 14 years ago, there's a good chance there still could have been.
Okay.
It might be a little archaic at this point. It might be a hard drive or a floppy of some sort.
Yeah.
All right, so with her helping, it would be a +1 to the roll. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
she can help you navigate this modern
No.
contraption.
Ugh, this is not going to be the
Like,
best roll.
it's not that hard. Just hit this button and this button.
So it's going to be
Do
three. It's going to be
this.
3 dice. It's going to be 3 dice.
Okay. I like small rolls. It's funny.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Okay.
3.
Okay. Well,
Best I could get.
you're very lucky. You're very lucky that you didn't get like another 10. So
I know.
Is he flirting with another like messy
Yes,
something?
always. That's what I do. Is I flirt with messy criticals.
Oh
so
my god! Again.
3 successes, you are going to be able to find it. It is basically an offsite of the museum storage house that is on college property. It's just basically the college archives. The museum rents
Yep.
out a small portion of the area to keep hard drives and things like that in.
Yeah, and I will look up if there's any type of cataloging, like rather than us just ransacking the whole place.
Hmm.
Also, I do want to check. Are you good with time? You said like an hour, and I think it's past that at this point.
It is. It's after 11.
Yeah, we do. We
I
do
don't
need
want to
to.
keep you.
We do need to run things down. Unfortunately, tomorrow's the last day of that ridiculously long job that I've been working on. But I wanted to make sure that your characters got to know each other for a little while. So
Yay!
how would you guys basically end this meeting?
With a successful
Sorry, go ahead.
finding of this address, obviously.
Do we?
Well,
yeah. Well, yes,
I do look at
you would
the
be able to look it
doctor.
up. Yeah.
I do look at the doctor like, well, if you wish, you may accompany us. It seems that I now have an address to go search to see if this bears any fruit. If not, I will have
More
to.
knowledge.
If not, I'll have to resort to more in-depth research to see if there was another reason why other kindred were interested in this place.
Agreed. That seems the most prudent course of action.
I will look back at the scales of Anubis
Mm.
Okay.
and like stay quiet for a moment. Like, and the ores, how should I say this? How potent does that ore look? Like comparatively to other ores I've seen
I would
on
say
objects.
pretty potent. It kind of reminds you of the energy that a blood source, like something affected by blood sorcery, has, except it's not quite the same. It radiates similar but different energies.
So of a fairly potent magic, correct?
Yes.
Not like a weak magic per se.
No, this is very
But
long lasting and persistent magic.
Yeah. So I'm like thinking like, okay, a bloodstone probably gives off a weak aura.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about like by
Professor,
level?
we don't have any.
Not so much by level, but just like a gauge of like I'm assuming more powerful magic will be more intense in some fashion.
Hmm. Tell you what. Why don't you
But that's me making an assumption.
give me a wits? Or sorry, not wits. Give me an intelligence plus occult, and your specialty will not
Does this?
take place.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, I kind of figured why. Yeah, because of discipline. So that's 6 plus 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 successes. You can tell that whatever energy that this is incredibly potent, incredibly ancient, and
Mm.
has been used recently.
Oh, so I do stare at the scales for a moment,
Catching
and
it,
I
catching his look. Just look at him, Professor. Madam, you don't have any particular talents that would allow us to explore these items elsewhere for a prolonged time, do you?
You want to steal it?
Yes, ma'am. I want to steal it.
no, I do not. But I can tell you one thing.
Let me look.
I actually look at the doctors and just ask him, "Have you touched it or used it recently?"
I have not.
Someone has.
I would like to know more.
I do have a point in larceny. Because, of course,
1 point.
1 point.
Well, I mean, if you're
I don't think it would be wise.
2 points in larceny. Sometimes you got to break the rules to learn a little.
I don't think it would be wise since
I like breaking the rules.
my name was given when we entered in. I do not want to be associated with a theft.
And perhaps we can come back to this place another evening.
I mean, it'll be here.
It's not going.
Well, actually, when does the exhibit end?
I would say that the exhibits typically last about a month.
Okay, there would be opportunity,
There would
and
be.
to be honest, this is a very interesting discovery, to say the least. But the only problem, someone else knows about it as well.
I would like to know more about it sooner rather than later.
Well, that is up to you and your own discretion.
But
I do not know if I can assist, but I am not opposed to this idea.
Of liberating it, huh? What kind of security system is it behind? I feel like this is a bad
Tech.
idea.
We need Baxter.
If you are trying to figure out the security system, do we have? Let's see. I would say that counts under larceny.
Yep.
You have 1 point in larceny. Let's see.
I've got
I
two.
do.
I'm going to help her out on this one.
Oh, I mean, he could take the lead. He's actually better at it than me, so I mean, he could take the lead if he wants, and I'll help him.
I have a sense that she's better at smashing and grabbing than I am.
Oh, that's undoubtedly true.
I would say that the check to see what kind of security you're looking at here is going to end up being intelligence plus larceny.
So I'm at 5 for that.
All right. So does that include a point if I give you?
Oh, you can always help if you have the applicable skill. So if you would like to, you can add a point to the roll for Darby.
All right, sounds great.
I love how I say if you like. I mean, who the hell's going to turn that down? It's an extra dice.
I know, right? I mean,
Somebody could turn it down if they feel that that is not correct, or no, I do not want to help you.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, I could turn it down, but is he gonna really not accept
She made
the help?
it. Just want to turn it down so she can smash something.
Well, I didn't get the best roll here. I got
You're 3
1, 2,
successes.
3
Willpower.
successes.
Willpower.
Yeah, but with a messy critical would be hilarious in this case.
You well, as it stands right now, you got 3 successes, which is actually not bad. That's pretty standard for a good dice roll.
Yeah.
And this place isn't really known for hiding its security. So what you're basically going to see is the glass is pretty thick that's over this thing, and towards one corner of it, there's this tiny little white box that's just kind of stuck to
Mhm.
the edge, and you can see the little wire coming out of it, and going down into the pedestal that everything's standing on.
Obviously, point this out to my camaraderie here, or my comrades here.
Like, will ripping the wire out set off the alarm?
That is a good question.
I would assume so. Oh, I
My
feel
guess
we
is
should come
either
back at another time and alleviate this item when we're not so exposed. Word.
that I can agree with.
Madam.
I sure. I still
With
look
that,
at. Sorry, I still
I
look at a
think
little fascinated by the whole thing.
Mm.
I'm a little. Kate is slightly worried by it. Something so potent just sitting around unattended after a fashion. Um, hmm. At that I actually do just quickly look around to see if I spot anybody hiding that
Mm.
may not be normally seen.
Um, that would be a wits and awareness if you're going for something like that.
Nah, I just got paranoid again. Wits and awareness, not my
Why?
best.
Because I'm having you roll for it?
No. I'm just saying, not my best in general.
No, I mean you're like I'm getting paranoid again.
Oh, you're. I mean, a vampire. I'm always paranoid. One. Yeah, I'm
You
sure
don't
nothing's there.
notice anything.
Yes, I think it is best that we leave for now.
I'll agree. I'm looking at one of my flaws. It's risk taker, but I think I can ignore it for right now.
Oh shit,
Oh
that's
no, you
true.
may have to.
I took the same damn flaw.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It seemed to track with this character.
I took knowledge hungry.
Yeah.
So the question is, with that roll, did it actually determine whether or not we get if we cut the wire, if it's going to set the
See,
alarm off or
see,
stay away?
you're not 100% sure, and that's where the risk would be.
I'm gonna assume this.
God damn! Listen to him pushing that button.
And then we
I'm
have
gonna assume that
and then we have knowledge hungry also, and what exactly does that give us?
Oh, you are such. Oh my god! You just.
In my pursuit.
Why he's a good friggin' storyteller. All right, let's see. What have I got here?
I'm steal this.
I mean, I'm tempted
Yeah,
to do it. I'm rather.
to be honest, I'm going to lean into it most of the time anyways, so. But I did fit this
worst
character
comes
well.
to worst, I can always take the heat and leave.
I feel like knowledge hungry was a flaw that I had in life.
Hang on one sec.
Can I offer a little bit of advice to Carter?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So, you have summon spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the binding fetter. And I'm just going to point out
Yes.
that fetters are going to be all over museums.
Right.
Summoning a spirit that can typically do things with their own arcanoi, which are what wraiths have instead of disciplines, arcanoi.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to compel one with either a threat or a social challenge or something like that to do something that might help you with this.
Gotcha. I'm just thinking about what the better order. The ceremony. I haven't looked at the ceremony recently. Requires stuff though. It's not like you can just whip it out.
Typically, a fetter and a name.
A fetter and a name. All right. So we need to find the fetter. Wits plus oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do. Obviously, we'll do. Start with finding fetter.
Okay.
All right. So our wits is 2 and oblivion is 2, so that's 4.
And we're gonna do this a different way.
By all means.
I just want to bust the thing out.
We're all stealthy, and she's just itching to bust something.
Yeah.
2 successes on
So
2 successes on the binding fetter.
you are going to become highly aware that this place is so overfilled with fetters, being a museum of natural history.
Right.
And to perform summon spirit, I'm looking at this right now. It says that you would need one of the targeted wraith's fetters, a photo, or a visual description of the wraith, or their signed name and the caster's vitae. So basically, all you need is the fetter and your own blood. You don't need a name or anything. You can use any of it.
So if I'm trying to summon the person who used these scales,
Oh,
I mean, there's a good chance they could be in the room.
I'm just
then
gonna
it would
say
be
you could even summon Tutankhamun or what's his face?
Oh, wow. I feel like that's a bad idea.
There's
Summon a boy king.
there are various artifacts in this room that very well could summon someone who is on this side.
we're trying to stay with the scales. And was there anything else when we did the both myself and the professor have done a sense the unseen or similar around the room. I mostly got, and I think he did too, that everything was coming from the scales and everything else was sort of leached off that.
A little bit, yeah.
And so while there's other items, these are the big juju, so to speak.
That does seem to be the most powerful item in the room is the scales, yes, but that's not exactly how fetters work.
Oh, okay.
Fetters are items of personal significance to people who have passed
Right.
away.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna look around this room and see if there's anything else I could find that would be a useful fetter.
Oh,
I think because I need to do the fetter first. I need to find the fetter first before I do the summoning.
yeah. No, and there's, like I said, there is so much in this room. You could literally just pick any item.
Oh,
Hats,
okay. So
necklaces,
right.
spears,
necklaces.
cups,
There's a
tombs.
there's an ivory comb that is putting off a lot of scent. It's really interesting too because some fetters they give off a glow, other ones they give off a scent.
Right.
It can affect all of your senses. The
Let's
comb,
make this easy.
sure.
So yeah, I just want to find the fetter that is least secured by security services here, something that I could easily touch, maybe even lift, and I'm not going to let off an alarm.
Okay, I would actually probably say the comb that I was describing,
Comb.
the ivory comb, that doesn't tend to break down. So there's a good chance that they left it open for people to actually be able to handle.
Perfect.
It's for all the kids to touch.
It's very interesting. It gives off to you, to Carter. It gives off a scent of almost like rose water, which is what identifies it as a fetter for you.
So on my character sheet here, that for the ceremony, it just says summon spirit. I don't have the. There's no roles combination for it. Does it just go off, or how do we do this?
It's a typical oblivion spell. So what you're going to want to do, and let me pull that up. Just see it.
I left my book for this in the bedroom, and my girlfriend's asleep in there, so I don't.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm holding the book right now, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is your resolve plus
Right.
Oblivion. And the
Oh,
difficulty
great.
is the ceremony plus the ceremony level plus 1. So this is going to be a difficulty of 2.
Difficulty of 2, and I'm pitching 6 dice at it.
Yep.
Nice.
Basically, all you really have to do to complete this ceremony is you just have to drop a small amount of your blood on the fetter.
All right, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4,
4.
5, 6. Oh, and then 1 crappy on the hunger dice.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's only important if you just outright fail the test. So, like,
Okay.
it's a difficulty of
One,
2. If you had rolled 1 success, then you wouldn't have gotten it. So you got 4
gotcha.
successes. I'm going to go ahead and say for Cade, as he's performing this, the energy that is exuding from him with your sense the unseen is going to very similar to what's coming out of the scales.
Can I roll a intelligence plus
Occult?
occult to determine the discipline
Sure.
or power?
Sure, I'll allow that.
I'm assuming my specialty will not add to this.
No.
That's what I thought. One, two, three, four, five successes.
5 successes, you are able to tell that he is definitely doing some type of necromantic procedure.
So would I know it's Oblivion?
I would say, like, if you've ever had any interaction with somebody using Oblivion, you can probably identify it by the type of power he's releasing. And in that case, you can also tell that the scales are releasing a type of Oblivion as well.
Not sure if my character would have interacted with somebody using Oblivion, but I might have read about it and
Possibly.
research and study. That's about all I can think of.
Possibly. Then I'll basically just say that you have a good idea that this is what's happening.
Okay.
As for Carter, and since you're using summon spirit, actually that has them cross over. Even Darby and Cade will notice. At first, it seems just like a small dust devil that's getting caught in the wind currents of the room, but as it starts gaining speed and size, and also an audible voice, and starts taking on the appearance of this first skeletal, then emaciated, then full vision of this rather beautiful, say around maybe late teens, early 20s young woman who has, or who you can tell by her features would have had fairly dark skin, very short cropped hair, made up very, very beautifully. In fact, the image that's before you is almost an exaggerated form of how pretty she was in life. But
Was it Nefertiti? I think she was
Actually,
one of
I
the
will
ones
say
legendary for beauty.
I will ask, can I roll an intelligence plus academics to try to determine her social standing based on the clothing that she's wearing? If it
Definitely.
is manifesting?
Yes.
That would be it. Oh, that's a critical success. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh God.
Okay. You are going to recognize directly by the way she's carrying herself, by the clothes she's presenting herself off with, that she is royalty. And you're going to hear the name when she says it, and you're probably going to know exactly who this is with a role like that. But this is in fact this is in fact King Tutankhamun's oldest sister, who he was married to, Anox and
about
Amun.
Wow.
And she stares
Mm-hmm.
directly at Carter and says, "Why have you summoned Noxanamun?"
Good evening, miss. I have summoned you to learn more of the scales before us, and who has dared trespass and use them before we arrived here.
She eyes you and kind of tilts her head a little in confusion and then looks towards the scales and then back towards you. And she says, "I know you're kind, child of Cappadocius. What do you want from me?"
Knowledge. I do not wish to keep you. We came here only to learn more of the scales and what their purpose is for here. But we see that others have perhaps tampered with them, and we seek to find out who and why.
She kind of glides to the other side of the room back to where the case is, and she's just kind of almost serpentine the way that she moves, like a snake that's just checking from one side to the other. And she looks like she's running her fingers through something, possibly wind currents, something that's over it. And as she does that, her uh, the glass begins to tarnish a little bit, like it's starting to age, it's starting to discolor. It's incredibly clear, but it's starting to yellow. And then there's going to be a little bit of a snap and a sizzling sound as the wire gives way to the mold that's eating through it.
I turn to look towards the security office to see if any reaction has happened.
Not that you can see,
Okay.
but
Or here.
she'll make her way back over and get right in Carter's face and be desist, just treating me like a common thief. Just dismiss me and let me rest.
I do just that, and I say, rest in peace, and may the afterlife treat you well.
And she will just collapse into a pile of dust on the floor.
Carter's not yet done that before and feels a little bit terrified and somewhat happy and gratified that he's able to do that successfully.
Carter just says, "Most intriguing."
All right, so we see that the wire that was anchoring the thing down, or at least triggering it, so it seems to be out of shape.
The wire itself was eaten away by a mold.
Perfect.
I will. I'm actually it unless Carter is still holding the comb. I do wish to wipe off the blood.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Okay.
I will also be nice and not take the blood.
Darby, I do believe, Miss, our opening presents itself.
What do you want to do? Darby's like, what the hell am I? What the hell am I seeing?
Well,
She like is having a hard time wrapping.
Cad raises his hand. Is like, before you take anything, I do wish to exit the building, so I am not associated with said crime.
I look at Darby and I say, Darby, do you remember that movie from the 80s, Indiana Jones?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I love that movie.
What comes to mind is stealing the thing and running very fast.
Oh, we're not going to try and find something of equal weight to put on the, to replace it with.
I don't think it works that way anymore, my dear.
Oh. So you want me to just grab this and run?
Unless you have better suggestions, I'm all ears.
Nope. I mean,
I look at Darby and says, Darby, I can't have
I'll
you
work
do
for
that. I'm
I work
sorry.
for him. I work for him, so I can't.
I look at Carter's like, you're welcome to do this yourself, but She is with me, and if she is seen running with it, it will fall upon me as well.
Storyteller, how much of my name
It
and
looks so
well
disappointed.
known am I in this town?
Let's see. Carter.
Am I willing to be just random bald guy who did bad thing?
I
Or
mean,
I'm gonna guess you don't have dominate or mesmerize or anything.
nope.
I didn't think so. I
so
don't either.
what was who was the person that you think got you into this place?
Just some. I don't have any particular touchstone or anything like that, but probably a long lost or not too lost, but former academic contact.
Okay. That's exactly what we're going to say this is. If they get out of the building before this all happens and you are the one who breaks it, this is a former contact.
Burning that contact immediately. Session 0.
Contact first.
Wow, didn't take long.
so so yes, if you want to do that, this will in fact be a former contact.
I mean, the wire is gonna get repaired or noticed tomorrow, right? We've got our opportunity now, not tomorrow.
That's very true.
Carter will kind of give a slight nod. It's like, you are welcome to do as you wish, but I think it is time that we take our leave.
That might
I
be
wish you the
wise.
best of luck. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to see you soon. Maybe I will see you tomorrow at said address. And I kind of point to the paper with the archives.
And where will I
Darby,
find you tomorrow?
I will give him a copy of the address to the archives.
Okay.
Say 10 p.m.
Ugh. Darby, you sure your sense of adventure's not up to it? And I wink.
I work for him, so
And then perhaps
Ryan. I mean, he so wants to. He
Carter,
does work for him.
Cade looks at Darby. He's like, "You don't work for me, but you have been assigned to protect me."
the risk taker
I
flies
mean,
overtaking it for me.
I know. That's the thing. I mean, I could get it and give it to you, and you can run out of the building with it.
We don't want to be here when that happens, though.
Storyteller, are there any other exits nearby?
Not that you can really see. Like not in this room.
What about cameras?
We
I
I looked for cameras already. All we saw was the
Okay.
fire alarm, which is my other option. I'm going to assume there's a camera somewhere that I haven't found yet because I'm just not aware enough for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have silence of death, but that's not going to help my face being on a camera.
That would not.
Should have been La Sombra.
Wow.
Um,
When you start rethinking your clan so you can steal something.
I know.
That does actually fit the negative, though. The drawback.
I know. I've got the damn flaw too. Of, taking risks.
I think I'm going to have to be your reason.
But unfortunately, yeah, that's the way I look at it. You are my reason.
So you have your voice of the beast. You also have your voice of reason.
Mm.
Just has to be actually sound. real voice. At this point, though, Cade will give a nod and start heading out.
Guess we go. All right, so I follow.
All right. So Cade starts heading out, and Darby is like crestfallen, falling behind because she really wants to break the thing. And so Carter finds himself standing alone with an address and a broken security system.
All right, we're going to try and... I see no other exits. The only exits are the main exit that I came up. There's... Like, I see nothing, a window, something I can smash and go through.
I'll go ahead and I'll say that there's a fire. I'll say that there's an emergency exit, an emergency exit towards.
You know what?
Yeah.
I there's one thing I'd say before I go. I apologize. I was just thinking of like, there are other ways to steal things than to just grab and take. If you could take, hide, and return later to retrieve, it may give you an alibi out. Then you could just walk out and come back later and
If
take
we're
it.
caught on camera hiding something, it's just as good as walking out the door with it.
Potentially, if there's a camera.
Have you ever just wanted to live big and roll the dice, Professor?
No.
just the flat, blatant no.
It's with a smile. It's with a smile, but like, no.
Then
Really,
Professor,
it's not for chances like this, and not for everybody. I
then
get it,
Professor, perhaps I
Professor.
shall see you the next night, or perhaps I'll
Yeah.
be in jail.
I truly hope that is not the case.
Myself as
Anyways,
well.
farewell for now.
Farewell for now.
See ya.
And then I will leave.
Okay.
I go with him.
All right.
It's my only advice I have for him.
The thing is burned. I can't get back in. Blah, 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 blah. Got it. My plan is to visibly leave and secretly re-enter
Okay.
the same night.
How
Like I want to visibly leave.
how are
Like
you
on,
how are
assuming
you
there's a camera
re-entering?
pointing at- What's that?
How are you re-entering?
So I'm going to use a combination of silence of death
Uh-huh.
and try and sneak my way in. I do have a couple pips of stealth and silence of death on top. We're going to try and break back in. I'm going to tumble on out and run after the my comrades here and say, different idea. Float this idea past them
Mhm.
and say, new plan. Not brazenly steal it in full sight, but if I can get back in, hopefully taking the lights out. Does my little tech bunny have any ideas as how we can do that?
Heck, bunny. Me? Are you talking to me?
My tech tiger?
Is that me? Is that
Wow.
still me?
This is an interesting turn of
I love
events.
I love how the pet names have begun.
I've got literally one pip. Carol's going to say, I have
That is
one
more
pip.
pips than me.
Oh my lord, what do you want me to do?
Add a game
Mhm.
suggestion. I don't know if this would be tech or larceny. Maybe take out the power for the area.
Yes.
Oh lord, that's a lot.
I mean, you could do that in very brutal or finesse ways.
I would say that is either a tech or a larceny. I would let you guys choose.
I've got 2 in larceny, 0 in tech.
Well, that's two larceny is better than my 1 in tech. So
Ugh. All right. Let's
I'll help though.
let's go around to the back of the building, see if we can find a junction box or something similar.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk off a ways and just watch from afar.
I'm going to say with the stuff that's going on, this is going to end up being a wits plus larceny.
Wits and larceny, 2
Trying
and
to
2.
figure out that you're trying to figure out if you're cutting the right thing.
We are trying to cut the right wire.
Oh my god. Alright, well I'm gonna obviously
It's
Yay!
always the red wire.
It's a
always the
heist
red
on the
wire.
first night. Yay!
and we're gonna go way later than you wanted to go.
I know. I feel so
Yeah,
bad.
It's okay. It's my last day at that job. I don't care.
He's like,
Sleep.
yeah, I'll deal.
One
You want to
success.
make some re-rolls.
You can
Yeah,
burn a
Spend that
will.
willpower.
You can burn a willpower to re-roll 3 of your standard dice, which are 3 that failed. So that's good.
Yeah, I will do so. So that
All
will
right,
do.
everyone, cross your fingers.
Oh god, otherwise we are
I
so
I instinctively crossed my fingers before you said that.
All right, I think I did it right.
One more.
All
One
right.
more.
So
So
two
two successes.
successes.
Two
Something.
successes
Better
for
than
one will.
one.
Tell you what. I'm gonna let you win at a cost.
Oh no. Oh no. I remember this sort of bargaining. Mm-hmm.
Hey, winning the cost is great for this game.
Uh-huh.
So you are either going to have messed this up, or you can win and piss off someone that knows you did it.
Wow. When you put it like that, it's not even really a choice.
So basically, you'll be gaining in the enemy flaw if you.
Ooh.
It's too bad it's not me. I
One
already
is
have the enemy before.
one is I fail the mission. The other one is I add color to the story. There's
mean-
only one choice here.
Nice. All right, Christian, we're gonna get along really well.
I have
No,
a, I have a, I have
no.
a s- I have a strong feeling he has lots of ammo against all of us, given what I just heard Carol say.
Oh Lord. I mean this, we're all gonna get along swimmingly because that's my answer too, by the way. Whatever will screw us more and be more interesting stories, my vote.
I think there's gonna be more Nemesis in this game than there will be in a Seven Seas game.
I can only hope
Probably.
Giovanni run museum.
Oh God, don't say that.
All right, so you cut it.
All right, madam, would you care to go out on a lovely evening walk with me? Back up the stairs.
I guess sure. Oh God, I'm not too sure about this because my boss, what she perceives in her brain as her boss, said no, and now I'm doing it anyways. Sure, I'm going.
So unfortunately, Silence. I'm just reading Silence of Death only
Oh, it
clouds
only.
mind.
Yeah, it only affects you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only can try both. I can go back up on my own. If you can keep an eye out for me, miss.
I mean, I can try to be stealthy. I do have a Pippin stealth.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go too.
Cade just
Okay.
hangs back.
All right.
Sorry, kid.
So
I will.
Carter,
I will say, don't harm the guard.
so Carter has Silence of
I
Death, which I'm
won't.
assuming you're
Oh,
activating.
yeah, we're not harming the guard. They're definitely just trying to avoid him.
Darby, I need you to roll Dexterity and Stealth.
Oh, this is gonna be good. I don't suppose I can.
It's blood
add any
surge.
Can I
Blood
add any?
surge.
Can I add any celerity to it?
Oh,
I have rapidly flexes a cat's grace.
You can add your celerity to it because you have Cat's Grace.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
so what was it? So what was it again? It's celerity plus what was it? Dexterity plus what?
It's
What's the other one?
Dexterity
Plus
plus Stealth plus
stealth.
your
Okay,
point
so
plus your 2 points in celerity.
I think that's 5.
And
Or
if you
stealth.
want to,
Yes,
you
it's
can.
5.
If you want to, you can Blood Surge for an extra 2 dice.
I suggest it.
All right, I'm blood surge. What am I gonna do for
It's
that?
probably the last roll of the night. You roll 1 dice.
Oh, it's a roll hunger die
Yeah.
for that. Oh boy. I will do that first. My freaking keyboard will work. 1d10.
Okay.
Yes,
You don't.
I don't get hungrier.
You
Okay,
don't get
so
hungrier.
that was
So now
So
it
that-
is 2,
7.
1. That's 3, 4,
It's
5,
7.
6. Or yeah,
Oh,
7.
it's
7.
It's 7. I know how to add. And it's let's see, it's 6d10 plus 1d10. That is
3 successes.
that's a spread, man.
That's fairly good. That's a good thing. You are with
That's
especially with your cat-like balance. I'm going to go ahead and say that you passed that without a problem.
Oh, cool.
So
Cool.
there's a good chance that Carter actually thinks you might have Silence of Death as well. With yeah.
Glad I took stealth.
All right, so we're back up on, well, what was the computing floor area that is now the computer services annex area
Yep.
that now houses the scales of Anubis.
And I'm gonna say you guys get back into that room without a trouble. You successfully, given the larceny roll and everything that was done, have gotten back in the building. It seems that you've cut all of the power.
Might as well cut it all at once. All right, I go to carefully lift this box, seeing I don't think that there's going to be, it should be electrical, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right, it's like I said, it's tarnished and yellowed with age from what the wraith did to it, and
Mhm.
you're able to lift. You're able to lift it fairly easily. It's not heavy. It's just a little awkward. And
Okay.
there are the scales right in front of you.
I just motion to Darby with my hand out. After you, miss.
Oh, you want me to grab? Fine, I grab it. I'm gonna hand it to him though. I don't want to carry it. And
Yep.
fucking potato, it's the hot potato. And I'm gonna, yeah, we're gonna go.
Okay, you
I'll take
have
scales.
you have successfully thieved the scales of Anubis from the Athens, Georgia Natural History Museum.
Oh my god. This is a session 0?
Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen either. It just happened. But with that, I'm going to say that the three of you get away into the night with your prize, and I have to call post now.
Nope, no, that's
Yeah.
perfectly
But
fine.
what did you all think for this session 0? I know that most of it was sent
Oh,
building the city, but
Above and beyond.
That's great.
I didn't expect to have an actual heist as our
yeah, no, neither did
session
I.
0. I thought we'd all just to get to know each other, and that was about it. And there'd be a few dice rolls, and nope, nope. Apparently,
We already have little guy.
we're a cool group. We're a cool group. Make it into a podcast. Let everybody hear this.
Okay.
No, really, it was really freaking cool. Really freaking cool.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. What do you think,
Yes.
Christian?
Oh, I loved it, man. I need to brush up on my ceremony so I know exactly what I'm doing, so I don't have to ask you, and pound out a little bit of more of the character just to make sure the backstory is all tight. But
Okay.
yeah, it lit the fire so that I'm like excited to do that. Like tomorrow, I'm like, yeah, I'm basically gonna be at work, not working. I'm just gonna be playing
Well-
characters.
Well, sadly, we do have a month before we can get back to this, but but I am looking forward to continuing on this story.
That's